I like to let everybody know something here. I've hinted at this now for a couple of weeks, but now we can finally say, because I know my partner's going to be on board. He needed to see how they played against the Celtics. This Knicks team that we have so far this year, and that we've been given, it's the best Knicks team in 20-plus years. Conversation's over.
Well, I mean, that's easy, right?
Well, listen, let's not look at the small print there, Barbara. Let's not ruin the enthusiasm.
Does this include the Jeremy Lin?
Oh, of course.
Run?
Puts that team to dust.
Yeah.
It's better than the Melo team that won 54. Listen, I'm all in on this team. You know it. And they are peaking at the right time. And I look at these Knicks and I say, all right, so what is there to really get excited about? And there's just so many things that I watch on a nightly basis that I love. Let me hit you with some obvious ones. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. First of all, we know that Randall's averaging 25 and Brunson's averaging 24. That's the obvious stuff. They're number 2 in rebounding in the NBA, and they've missed Robinson for 20 games, and they're still number 2. They commit the 4th fewest turnovers. So let me get this right. You have 2 guys that score a lot. You own the backboard. You protect the basketball. You have outstanding depth. They're well coached, and they're peaking at the right time. They're a young, ascending team. And the best part about this Knicks team, and this is what's got me juiced, is that they kind of feel, especially with the addition of Josh Hart, like some old Knicks teams we used to love. They are passionate. They are tough. They are energetic, and they are good. So I asked my partner, Barbara, here, are you with me?
And
are you with me?
And they don't have a chance for an NBA title.
Are you? So you're not with me? Is what
No,
you're
it's
saying.
not even that. So I've grown to really appreciate this Knicks team. I do. I love watching them play. I told you, and we were talking about this before the show, I actually turned it on before the game started, which is rare for me. I got so much stuff going on. I'm never like sitting down and watching the pregame show, getting ready for a Knicks game. But I wanted to last night because it was the Boston Celtics. We know that they're one of the best team, at least for most of the season. I've been the best team in the Eastern Conference because they've been healthy, and I know that Jaylen Brown was out, but still, the Boston Celtics are one of the best teams over the last 3 years in the Eastern Conference. So this game last night was one that meant something. One, from an entertainment standpoint, but 2, just to see where the Knicks match up. How do they match up? And after the first quarter, when they only allowed 15 points, I said, this Knicks team can play anywhere, and they can probably beat anybody in a one-off. But with Jaylen Brown back, Jason Tatum playing better, spreading the floor, actually knocking down three-pointers, are they beating the Celtics in 7 games? Maybe. I don't know. Are they beating the Bucks? Definitely not, because they don't have that X factor guy. They don't have the Giannis factor player. They have some really good players.
Yeah.
And even if they lose, you're still entertained by this team. And yes, BT, I am getting closer to on board with your Eastern Conference final appearance for the New York Knicks. But ultimately, we keep looking for a championship team. They're not there yet.
Let me ask you that. What don't they do well? What don't they do well?
They don't have easy. There's no easy score. There's no player. I mean, maybe Julius Randle's starting to get there, but there's no guy that just easily walks into a game and he's going to score 30. Right? You've seen Bradley Beal play. Bradley Beal will just lull you into 30. Like, wait, he got 30 points already?
Or he's hurt.
Or he's hurt.
Which he's
but
been
you know
hurt
what I mean.
a lot
But
this year,
when he's on, Bradley Beal's one of those guys that just
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You look up and he's got 33. Like, oh, that was quick. I know what you mean.
How'd that happen,
Yeah,
right?
well, Brunson actually feels that way to me.
He does.
Last night aside.
Last night aside.
He was okay last night.
He does, but I see him as more of the creator.
Yep.
So the thing that's holding me back from being all in on a championship for the Knicks, not that they're not enjoyable, not that they don't do things the right way. Hell, I owe Tom Thibodeau an apology for thinking he wasn't the guy. They've all started to buy in. It's kind of awesome to watch. Now, part of it's because he's been coaching better and he has his rotation correct. But when I look at this Knicks team, as exciting as it is and as fun as they are to watch, I still don't see a championship team. So I'm stopping short of saying, let's go get it this year. But I am saying this is a team that I actually really enjoy watching.
And that's a smart place to be. I'm not saying they're going to win the championship either. What I will say is that they are, once they resolve this R.J. Barrett situation, then I think the momentum and the altitude you're going to start climbing more. He's just not it, man. And they got to figure his handle is atrocious. It is such a weak handle. He's killing him. He'll have a couple of good nights. I get that. But when you're the third overall pick in the draft, you've got to be better than he is. And he's just not going to be that guy. So, and I don't even want to talk about Donovan Mitchell today. I'm not interested in going down there. Donovan Mitchell's on a different team. They didn't make the trade. Now, you want to engage about something that they could do this summer with R.J. Barrett that can actually close the gap to the Bucks and maybe the Celtics in a 7-game series, because I do believe the Celtics are better than they played last night. But they missed a lot of open threes. But the Knicks happen to match up well with the Celtics.
Yes.
And sometimes you get that in sports. You can have a superior hockey team for whatever it is, the dynamics of the matchups, whether it's in the net or whatever it might be. The Knicks match up with the Boston Celtics. I mean, I've watched them play every single game the last 2 years, and they just match up with them.
Yeah, they do.
They match up with the Celtics. I'm not worried about the Celtics. I'm not scared.
Because I'm not convinced the Celtics are ever going to win a championship with this current iteration of this team. Despite how good they are, they're consistently one of the 1 or 2 seeds in the East. I don't think the Celtics are a championship team either.
Yeah,
no.
I tend to agree with you,
and
which is weird.
I don't know why.
Amazing.
Exactly. I don't know
amazing.
why I
wasn't
believe
amazing
that.
last time, but he's amazing.
I don't know why I feel that way, but it's just my gut. I don't see them being that team. But if the Knicks, and you position them, first of all, a week ago, they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I said that a week ago.
And now they're the best team in 2 decades in New York, which is there's not a ton of high bars to climb over.
No,
but,
I think that's very hard to refute.
Yeah, but still, the question then becomes, like, what is the expectation for this team? Right? Is it,
at least second round.
It's
mine's a little bit past that, but absolutely, you got to win around here.
Yeah, and if they don't, then where do we fall on this?
I'd have to see who they match up with. I'd have to see the way the series goes, and obviously then you react to that. I mean, if they got swept, it would be a colossal disaster. If they lost in 7 to a team that's like, I don't know, the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell score, I mean, that would be different because it would be Mitchell. I can't answer that right now. I'm not even that wrapped up in that. I'm just enjoying this. See, that's the problem with you and everybody else. You want to push this thing so forward. Can't we just enjoy this renaissance?
But isn't that what we ultimately we need?
But we don't have. No, I don't need it.
Don't we need to be chasing a championship? Isn't that what being a New York good team is about?
Yes, because we are title town.
No, we're not.
The Knicks, 1973. The Jets, 1969. The Mets, 1986. The Isles, 83.
But don't we tell ourselves
the Rangers,
that?
94. Boy, we just win them regularly, huh?
But we tell ourselves that.
We kill them.
We always tell ourselves that.
I don't say that.
Think about the Yankees. We get pissed off about this.
Our arrogance leads people to believe that. We are not a city of champions. We're not.
But then why is this the conversation?
Because we're arrogant. That's why. I'm telling you.
So now,
outside of the Giants and the Yankees, what the hell do we win?
So right now, you are changing the mentality of the New York fan, at least as it pertains to the Knicks. And this is not about a championship. It is about being an enjoyable watch, which I will concede. They are fun as hell to watch.
They are. They play with passion,
great
Teague.
defense. They play, I mean, other than the frustration with R.J. Barrett, who was 4-14 last night.
But not only that, it was the turnovers, the sloppy handle, just spinning into double teams.
But he had 5
just getting
turnovers.
ripped.
He had 5 turnovers.
And ugly rips.
He had 5 turnovers, which is as many as the rest of the team combined had.
Like when they try to isolate R.J. Barrett at the top of the circle, I'm saying to myself, he's going nowhere.
Yeah.
He's got no bounce.
But that aside, you're willing to say the Knicks are a team that doesn't need to win a championship. They're just fun to watch because they're going places.
I'm willing to say the Knicks have become my favorite team in the city again. That's what I'm willing to say. In terms of night-to-night value, night-to-night excitement. Now, the Jets get Rodgers. The Jets get the quarterback. The Jets' energy changes. The Giants were a really fun watch. The Mets and the Yankees were a lot of fun last year, though the Yankees seem more stale because they're trying to run it back with a lot of the same guys. The Mets are constructed differently than they've been. This Knicks team, to me, like, Teague, I've said it a million times, the Knicks are the heartbeat of the city. The Knicks are the heart. It's not the Yankees. It's not your Giants. It's the New York Knicks who make this sporting city awesome. When we're humming on all cylinders, the Knicks are in the middle of it. When we've got that empty, lethargic void during the winter at the Garden for the basketball tenants, it's a different feel. And, yeah, I mean, of course, eventually it's about championship path and eventually championship pursuit. But I'm also a believer in the early stages of the blueprint. Like, that's satisfactory to me. That's fun.
Well, I think it's because it feels like it's getting right. And this is why I, kind of apologized to Tom Thibodeau for wanting him to get fired a year ago or 2 years ago, really, is because these guys have started to buy in. We see Mitchell Robinson not huffing and puffing like he has been for the last couple of years, making some unbelievable defensive plays. I mean, that block he had on Tatum was just...
That was awesome.
It was just ridiculous. Highlight. And then they turn the ball over, and then he gets it right back and has another turnover. I mean, Mitchell Robinson is a difference maker when he's healthy. So as long as he stays healthy, he feels intimidating. Not that he's a rim protector and I'm trying to think defensive player of the year type.
He's an absolute rim protector.
But he's more than that though.
No, he's a good player.
He's just a difference maker, and it's fun to see him out there doing what he's doing. But ultimately, this team has started to believe what Tom Thibodeau was all about. Play great defense, and it carries. The offense will take care of itself. Just hold teams, the best teams, to their most frustrating moments on the court, and good things will happen. And that's what they did, especially in that first quarter.
I think it's impossible not to watch these Knicks or to watch these Knicks on a nightly basis and not feel how much it's changed. It's just it's a complete overhaul of who they were and where they were. And where it goes, we'll find out. But for a team that's qualified 6 times this century, let's not nitpick in victory here. I understand there's always got to be a little debate, and I'm fine for debate. You want to tell me I'm overstating who I think the Knicks are? Okay, we'll have that conversation. Don't tell me that these Knicks do not deserve belief and conviction and energy, and the Garden sounds different.
Yeah.
And it sounds different because the Knicks have forced it to sound different. And it's awesome. 877-337-6666. So the Knicks are rocking right now. I know my Knicks fans, and I know that they are ready. Knicks fans are always ready. Of all the fan bases, Knicks fans never check out. They don't. There's been situations where Jet fans check out at the end of a season. Giant fans got a little apathetic at the end. Knicks fans the motor is always going for the Knicks. And I think it's a desperation and a passion that feeds into a very unique sporting characteristic. Mm-hmm. The Knicks fan is just unique, and I know that they are ready, and I know they love what they see. This team's good. All right, Frank is in White Plains. First up, Frank's on the Fan Tiki and Tierney. What's up, Frankie?
Good morning, guys.
What's up, Frank?
Come on, guys. You gotta say one thing about the Knickerbockers. I'm a diehard Knicks fan, okay? And let me tell you something, that this team is not winning by luck. This team is winning. They playing good basketball, okay? And I think they could beat anybody and go into the finals. I'm not saying they're going to win the NBA champion, but I tell you one thing: give them a credit. They might go to the finals. They're playing good basketball. They beat last night Boston, the best team in the NBA. And I don't know. I don't think you guys. I know you like them, but you don't give them enough credit. I love you guys. You know that.
Well, don't talk to me. What do you mean, you guys? See, this is what drives me nuts.
Enough credit.
You guys.
We're giving them credit.
Talk to him.
They're fun. Jaylen Brown didn't play. They're a different team. It's just different.
Talk to this guy. He's not sure.
BT, I needed to see them beat a good team, and they destroyed a good team. And obviously Jaylen Brown wasn't part of this, but they destroyed a very good team.
Yeah, they owned them. They physically owned them.
And they made Jason Tatum foul out, or get his double tech. He's frustrated with non-calls, and he got tossed from the game. But even if he hadn't, I don't want to say he was a non-factor. He just didn't feel like he had any control over this game against the Knicks last night. Jason Tatum is such a good player. He felt just like an average guy last night.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Roscoe in Brooklyn. He's on the Fan Tiki and Tierney show. Having a little fun with these Knicks. What's up, man?
We back on the map. I just don't want to jump the gun because Milwaukee is balling.
Yes,
like
they
they're
are.
on a 14-game winning streak. And when you get to the playoffs, that unicorn gets every single call. Giannis gets every call in the playoffs.
True.
I don't know what it is with him. Like they love him, and I get it. You want to bring, the European thing, I get it. But when the Knicks is balling, the NBA is fun again. It's fun for me to watch. I actually know who's the scoring leader. Like, we balling right now. But, Tiki, you sound mad, Tiki.
I'm not mad.
Are you upset, Tiki, that
What?
Brooklyn broke up, Tiki? Are you one of those Brooklyn fans?
Why do you think I'm a Nets fan? I'm not a
I
Nets fan.
don't know, but those two guys yesterday that were on the afternoon, and we know who we talking about. Those Nets fans sound salty. Sit back and let's.
Oh, so you're calling me because you're mad at Keith and Evan.
No, I don't even care. Listen, man, I'm a diehard New York fan. BT, I'm just saying, like, I want it one quarter, one game at a time, one half. Let's just ball, because at the end of the day, Milwaukee, man, like, they're serious. Boston didn't play, what's his name yesterday? Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
So I'm not taking nothing away from him, but they got spanked. They got spanked, fellas. Have a good night.
Thank you, man.
All right, buddy.
I'll be interested to see 2 games from now. Brooklyn next, Miami, and then they're up in Boston.
And then the Celtics.
If we
again.
see this in Boston,
You're just going to keep pushing the goalpost, aren't
pushing
you?
the goalpost,
Yeah,
man.
that's all right.
I'm delaying.
Yeah, by the way, I don't disagree. I mean, you're going to see a different Celtics energy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tougher spot for sure.
Yep.
And I think at that point, even a tough loss
No
is
home crowd.
almost acceptable.
Yep, the home crowd's not on your side like
Can't
it
lose
was
to the
last
Nets,
night.
though.
Can lose the Nets.
This is where you got to keep it going.
You're supposed to destroy the Nets. That's what I'm. So we'll see what happens. That's tomorrow night. Wednesday night.
That's tomorrow night. Wednesday they play. Let's get Kyle in West Orange. What's going on, Kyle? How are you?
I'm doing good, guys. Good to talk with you. Listen, I am so excited watching this Knicks. I've been watching. I'm glued. I'm a Yankee fan. I can't even tell you what the Yankees are doing right now in the spring training. Why? Because when the Knicks are hot, it's all about the Madison Square Garden. It's all about the Knicks. And the Knicks came out on that 50th with Earl the Pearl, with all those, with Clyde, with the guys
Bill Bradley.
there.
Bill Bradley.
Yep. Dollar Bill was in there, and they wore those navy blue old school uniforms. That's what it's all about. They look good. They play good. And I'm going to tell you, it's like this. Anytime you talk about Robinson blocking shots, but I noticed the part when they were coming, the Boston was dribbling the ball. All he did was hold. The defense has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
They were contesting shots. Guys can't even make shots because of the defense. And then look what happens. They were talking about how, and first of all, the MSG, the play, the guys are just all on it. Zerbiak is on all these guys. I mean, it's just fantastic. But they were just saying the wall that the Knicks had in defense. So they get offensive rebounds, and what's the first thing they do? Spring up court.
Yep.
And then the ball movement, and then the 3-pointers that Hart brings to the team, and Randall's on this new kick. And the only guy that's hurting right now, what they used to call me when I was playing, the weak leak. The weak leak. That was me. Is my man RJ.
Yeah.
And RJ, look, he came back that other game against Pelicans, and you could see he was on fire. But then his fire goes dim.
Yep.
And they're still trying to work with him. But I agree with Tiki is saying. If we get we need a burner, a guy to come in there and just say, okay, I'm good for 28 or 30, like right now when I come in. Almost, and that's what we need.
But Kyle, hold on.
But the problem is they're not going to get that guy, Kyle.
You're not going to get that guy.
Not tonight. Not this week.
Well, you're not getting him this year. And so I
understand that, but let's work on what we have. I love what Emmanuel Quickly's doing with the ball handling.
Quickly's been great.
I like Brunson. He goes in and out. I like Brunson, but I like what he's been doing and what he's done so far. And I like also Hartenstein comes in and gives Robinson minutes, and then Robinson is just ridiculous with his offensive rebounds. He's crashing against the boards. He's always there underneath the hoop at the right time. They just float the ball up, and if he's around there, that ball's going in or he's going to get the foul. And then he goes and he shoots it, So I just think what I also saw yesterday in the game, and I'm telling you, I was so excited. I got my little kids. I got a 6 and 4-year-old. We're Knicks. We're in this. I love this.
Attaboy.
And I'm going to tell you, hey, Tiki, I lived in Virginia.
Okay.
I was a Virginia University fan. And when I remember Sampson and Ewing, Sampson was in Virginia, and I moved up here in 80 and 81. My father came back up here.
Yep.
He worked in radio. And boom, the Knicks got him, and we were up and running. That's what this feels like.
Yeah, with
this
you.
feels like old school.
It does.
It feels like old school.
Well,
And
defense,
what I wanted is,
defense is what's carrying it, Kyle. Appreciate you call, man. I see the excitement.
I told you it was
Dude,
coming.
That's your guy.
I know my Knicks fans. They're ready.
It's similar. BT and I were talking
They've
about
been
this
ready.
before the show. What's the similarity from the Knicks that were consistently competing to get to the Eastern Conference Finals? It's defense. It's defense.
No question.
You can have great scores, but sometimes great scoring goes cold. But when you hold a team that's really good, like Boston, to 15 points in a quarter,
Yeah.
you're going to win more of those games and lose.
And how many of these Knicks could have played with those Knicks of the 90s? I know Jalen Brunson could have. I know Josh Hart could have. You tell me that late 90s, Mitchell Robinson's not a little bit like Marcus Camby? There's a couple of guys on this team that would fit right in with this team. You tell me Quickly or Grimes or even McBride as a 9th or a 10th. Like, they've got a DNA that I think – listen, it's one thing for the Knicks to be good, but when the Knicks are good and they resemble the old Knicks, and it's tough to do that in the modern NBA with the rules, but they have found the way to do it. It warms your heart because it's a team that we loved and a team that never won a championship that is revered. And now you see pieces of that like kind of flashing on a night-to-night basis from the old days. It is awesome. 877-337-6666. So we got a little something on Derek Carr later, something on Rodgers as well. This Knick energy, it's big, it's real, and I know you're feeling it. We'll get more calls coming up next on The Fan.